looks like this morning is definitely for the birds. Definitely for the birds as we look out in the yard. And I don't know how many turkeys are out there. It looks like maybe 25 or 30, but there is a lot of them. I mean, a lot of them. And if we look a little further out in the water, or to the lake, barely in the water, we see that there's a little bunch of Canada geese down there. Looks like about 3 or 4 pair of them. Right on the edge of the water. They probably want to come up in the yard. It may not be coming up there because of all the turkey. The turkey are really scattered out there. We have mixed in, scattered some rye in again this year. Crow coming in to add for the bird morning. And scattering that rye in makes it really, really nice for the wildlife. Elk, deer, geese, everything like that ryegrass. And those guys seem to be out there really enjoying themselves this morning. Big bunch of wild turkeys chasing each other around. Everybody having just a bang up time. Dead calm in the upper 30s out there. But it's going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful November day. Up around 70 degrees today, 75 degrees tomorrow. And it's almost December. I mean, right on the cusp of December. Still having 75-degree weather. Cold nights, but beautiful days. Now, this next week, it'll be in the 30s at night, every night, and in the 50s during the day. A little bit in the 60s. No more 70s this next week. At least that's a forecast. God may have his own forecast. And it might be just a little bit different. But what a way to start out this week is birds, birds, birds. It looks like 2, 4, 6, 7 maybe geese down there. At least 7, there might be 8. And they might be going to come up here and walk around with those turkeys, I don't know. That's pretty special right there. Turkey populations are down in most places, but not here on the Eagle. That's conservation at its finest right there. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. The turkey may not stay in the yard very long because it looks like coming up from this area, this side of the house, is some elk deer. Looks like 4 or 5 down there feeding. One smaller young elk up here at the front. So we have birds and animals both, which is very, very nice. That's just a calf right there. Pretty good sized calf. You talk about some good elk meat, that would be outstanding elk meat right there. 2, 4, I see about half a dozen of them down there. Everybody's having breakfast early in the morning. That's why we hunt early in the morning. The wildlife move early. Turkeys flown down out of the roost. The elk are moving around. Nice. Very sweet. Very sweet. The menagerie continues to grow this morning as we have more Canada geese come up. Another little bunch of them, so there's quite a few geese up there. They act like they want to come in the yard, but they act like they're a little bit afraid of all of those turkeys. And we want to add a little bit. We'll probably add more of those, but that's a white-tailed deer right there. Getting ready to redo that deck. I'm gonna actually remove that old rail. Is getting pretty ragged, and I don't want anybody leaning up against it and falling over because it's a pretty good ways to the ground. And we're gonna actually I'm gonna put a glass railing around it where we can see through it, so when we're looking there, we'll be able to see the animals better in the yard. And it'll be good protection to keep some people from falling off. But you can see that we now we'll have more than that one deer, I'm sure, in the yard. I don't know how long the turkeys are gonna stay out there, how long the geese are gonna stay around. But when you start looking, you see really a lot of turkeys as they're working their way across the yard. You look at the other side of the yard, and the elk, a few of the elk have come on in, and there's more elk out to the west of the house, the west of the house, out to the west of the house, maybe some more out to the east too, I don't know. So we have elk and deer and turkey and geese and crows all out between the house and the lake. Counting the lake, including the lake, I guess. The turkeys are kind of hesitant to come up on the land. They act like they want to. I mean, the geese are. The turkeys are not having any problem going down to the water. So, the sun just now coming up over the mountain. What a way to start a day, I'm telling you. I'm telling you, for an outdoors guy like me and an outdoors girl like Chris, this is pretty special. There's at least one deer in the yard. I'm sure there'll be more deer back behind her. Everybody enjoying Jimmy's front yard. Yep, there's a youngin' coming behind. Might be two youngins behind that deer, I don't know. Everybody gets along out there. Nobody's worried about each other. There will be a day, maybe in the not too distant future, when the lion lays down with the lamb. Well, right now, the elk and deer and turkey and geese definitely have breakfast together. Don't know about lying down together. Since the turkeys spend their night in the trees, the geese spend their night in the water. But when Jesus comes back, there will be changes. We might even have mountain lions and bobcats and coyotes walking around with all those animals and birds out there in perfect harmony. Now, the Bible doesn't say anything about coyotes and bobcats, but I suspect they will be friendly with everybody as well. Maybe man will be. Wouldn't that be special? The trees got pretty good fall colors over there with the sun shining on them. Not spectacular. They did not make the spectacular stage this year like they did up in New York. Connecticut, I just got back from Connecticut. They're definitely not spectacular there. They are dead. The trees are dead in Connecticut. And it was dreary and rainy the whole time I was there. Things are not dead in southern Oklahoma. Things are very much alive. Elk, deer, elk. Don't see turkeys and Canada geese together that often. Even here on Twin Eagle, where we've got lots of wildlife. This conservation work, yes, sir, it works. Yes, ma'am, it works. I'm just having a big time going from window to window this morning because to me, this is just special. I mean, it is just special. You know, we've been here, oh my. You look out there toward the sun. I know we're shooting video right into the sun, and you're definitely not supposed to do that. But what do we see out there but silhouetted? It's a beautiful deer. Looks like it's some does and babies. And then right here close by, wild turkey. Now this is the time of the year, we've talked about this before, this is the time of the year when the turkey are all ganged up, or flocked up, I guess you would say, flocked up. By gender, these are all hens. The hens are all together, the gobblers are all together, and the jakes, the young gobblers, are all together. And so that's why when you see a bunch of turkeys, you see several gobblers together, and we've got a bunch of jakes running around. It's got 12 or 15 jakes in it. But yeah, you look and you see, you know, they're shooting into the sun. You see wild deer coming down to the water. The lake water is the precious thing. In conservation, that's why we worry about the water so much, because the water and the soil, the land and the water, is what governs everything else. The air is made good by the water and the land. So we want to really take care of our water, really take care of our land, our soil. And while we're doing that, we'll be taking care of everything that grows in the water, on the ground, in the air. And taking care of ourselves at the same time. And amazingly, we are heavily involved with two companies right now. The Sustainable Green Team, which is healing our soil, not only here in America, but all over the world. And Booyah Clean, which is a cleaner without any acid in it. Boat cleaners. We can actually have EPA approval, patents on the products that allow us to wash our boats right on the boat ramp, rinse them right into the water, wash it in the stall, in the boat lift, right in the marinas and our boat docks, wash it right into the water, wash our tractors, our vehicles, our trucks, in our yards or on our farms, rinse it right onto the ground, not putting any chemicals in the ground. So many chemicals that we've been using in washes, detergents, pesticides, fertilizers, all kinds of things to help things grow better. And it does. We made that work. But at the same time, we've destroyed our soil. We're destroying our water. We're destroying our air. And two companies that I'm really, really heavily involved with are healing all of the above. Isn't that fantastic? Where we might be able to look out in many places around the world, just like I'm looking out here at Twin Eagle, and see the abundance of wildlife that we've created here on this ranch. When I say we, I'm talking about me and God, or God and I should say, because God is the biggest creator of all. He created it all. And then he put us here to have dominion over all of it. But he gave us the responsibility to take care of it all as well. I believe that morale target's worn out. What do you think? I have some brand new ones in my boat building. No antlers this morning. Not yet anyway. I know that everyone loves to see antlers, and I'm like everyone. I'm in everyone for sure. I love antlers as well. And of course, we have a period of time when the bucks don't have any antlers on them. That time is not right now, but we do have does coming around every day and babies coming around every day, which I think is fantastic, because what you're looking at right there, a mama and her two babies, Beautiful, beautiful adult twin, baby twins that are turning into adult deer. You see just how beautiful they are. You see how large they are. And there's another doe, or a baby. I think it was another baby just walked in. Looks like from the size of it. Not sure. Don't see any other deer walking in there. That came from the opposite direction from where that mama and there's another mama and baby. Yeah, there, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's 5 deer now. Yeah, there's 2 mamas and 3 babies is what's there. So that's one mama either only had one single, which is unlikely, because one of the reasons that the deer have twins or triplets is because they're healthy. Deer that are not tremendously healthy. Now, I'm not saying that they're sick, but deer that are not really, really healthy and on properties where they've got plenty to eat and survive will normally have twins. And deer that are really healthy, a lot of them will have triplets. Many, many more twins other than triplets. And when the deer do have triplets, a lot of times that third baby does not make it very long. It's hard to control those little rascals when they're born. It's hard to keep control of 2 of them. But there's 3, that a lot of times they lose the smaller one, and they call it the run of the litter. And they lose that small one, or something will get it, and it's very difficult for a mama to raise 3 babies. Many of them do, and you do see a few triplets, not a lot. It's unusual no matter where you are. But where you see a lot of twins, like we have here on Twin Eagle Ranch, it means that the deer are healthy, the mamas are healthy. And you see there that there's a single mama and her baby and another mama with twins. So now that other one could have had twins and lost one of them, or she might have just had one. But when we see a buck around the house right now with antlers, he doesn't stay here very long. They're on the move. They do not spend much time in one spot, which is one reason that everybody loves to hunt during the rut, is because they are moving. They're covering lots and lots of territory, miles and miles of territory every day. And a lot of times, unfortunately for the deer, fortunately for the deer hunter, a lot of that miles, some of that miles might be right by your tree stand, or where you're sitting at the bottom of a tree, or sitting overlooking a river, or wherever you may be deer hunting. But the does and yearlings, fawns, these are called yearlings now, because they're, these deer are born back in April and May and June, some in July, and we've actually had deer born in August. So these are this year's deer, those babies, the younger ones out there. And I know some places where they got a lot of deer, they like to shoot those little babies because they're tender and young, but there's not a whole lot of deer meat there. They're smaller deer. So I don't like to ever see anyone shoot a 5 or 6 or 7 month old deer. Some of those babies some of them are bucks. It's hard to tell if they're a buck or a doe when you're looking at them right there. There's 3 babies out there. Probably 1 or 2 of those 3 are probably might grow up to have 200 score set of antlers on their heads one day. They'll never make it if you kill it and eat it when it's a little 40 or 50 pound deer. So don't be shooting those babies. Is that pretty though? Yes, I'm talking about you, girl. What a morning. Okay, this morning is plumb crazy. Plumb crazy. The turkeys have moved on. This is all one morning. This whole video is just one morning. And just what is happening. We're looking out the window, I call it the video. But you see all the geese have waited till the turkeys moved, and they moved out in the yard. You see now the geese are chasing each other around. 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14. Looks like there's 14 geese there. But then look on out there. You know what that is? That's buzzards. Stinking buzzards. Yeah, I hate those buzzards. They create a mess. They tear things up. They broke off both of them. I had to put 2 brand new, you see my rain gauges there. I had to put 2 brand new rain gauges out because they tore the rain gauges up. Now, I would normally go out there and scare those buzzards off right now. But it's got up to 41 degrees, got down to 38. That you can see those buzzards out there, and they eat dead stuff. I don't know what they're doing out there. But those are buzzards, and buzzards will actually. There's red-headed buzzards and black-headed buzzards. And buzzards are flying in there by the bunches. You see they're flying in. Look at this, look at this, look at this, look at this. Now, they create a lot of damage when they get that many of them in. They tear stuff up. They'll get on the porch. They'll mess everywhere. Nasty, nasty birds. And there's a buzzard right out there. Look at all of them coming in. Look at them. They're flying in. Look at that. Look at that. And they get up on the deck. They get on the house. They create a really big mess. What they're doing in the yard, I have no idea. But now I'm going to run them out, even if I have to run the geese off. I'm not letting those guys stay. But what an unusual sight. We've seen wild turkey, about 25 of them, and geese in the water. And now look at there. It looks like the geese are afraid of the turkeys. Look at them, the buzzards. Look at them right there. Look at them. Look at that. I don't understand this. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen that. And now these are coming up here and getting in the tree. But now watch what happens when I let Benelli out. Because Benelli knows I don't like those buzzards. And she's going to go out and we'll hopefully scare the buzzards away. Get them, Benelli. Get them. Get them, girl. Get them. Get them, girl. Get them. Get them. And when we see that happen, the geese take off. The buzzards leave. She's after them. She's after them. She knows we don't like the buzzards. Definitely don't like the buzzards hanging around the house at all. The geese, she scared the geese away. And she won't go scare those geese away, but she knows we don't like the buzzards. She knows that for a fact. What a morning. What an unusual morning here at the Eagle. I don't know what else is going to happen this morning. We'll see. But wow. Pretty special. The sun's up over the mountains. The wind is beginning to move around just a little bit, but it's pretty calm. Pretty calm. The Canada geese didn't know what was going on. They thought that the buzzards were attacking. The buzzards will actually kill baby deer too. They will kill baby deer and they will kill calves. Not good. I am just simply going from room to room to room, shooting video this morning, and we did have a buck show up. There he is right there. We did have a buck show up at the feeder, and that's the buck that has the bad horns. Now, he's got incredible, great antlers on one side. On the other side, we don't know. It's a wild buck, and he's in rut, you can tell. He's checking these does out and see if any of them are close to saying, yes, sir, Mr. Buck. Come right on. And it looks like none of them are. Maybe that one out there, and he will end up probably chasing that doe away from those babies. But that's the one that's got the one horns. Now, we don't know if the horn is just messed up on that other side. That's a very mature deer. Probably, not an old deer, but 3 or 4 years old. And we just are not able to get a good enough look because you can't really get very close to that deer, so you have to zoom this iPhone up to 9. We need about a 20 power zoom on our iPhones. You hear that, AT&T? That's what we need. And you see how wild and spooky he is. But he came around because of those 2 does and the 3 babies up here. And I guess he decided that she's not in that good a mood, so she'll go look for one that does not have a headache. But we finally did see some antlers this morning. But Lord of mercy, have we seen everything else? I'm not sure. We have shot some evenings at the deer stand and got, especially if I go out there and spend like a half a day or a morning and evening in one video. I don't think we've ever shot a complete video that was, 12, 15, 20 minutes long just from the house. But we're going to put this is just all one morning. This is one morning. We're back at the ranch after being out on the road working all week in Florida, opening a brand new Bass Pro Shop store that is spectacular. And then going to Connecticut for the Land and Sea Show, working for Booyah Clean at the great Land and Sea distributors. Land and Sea are distributors, and they sell all kinds of marinas and boat stores and hardware stores and all kinds of accounts they've got all over the nation. Huge distributing company, great distributors. And they're been with Roland Martin all week. And it's with Bill Dance, Charlie Evans, Shaw Grigsby, Leonard Skinnard, quite a few friends. Leonard Skinnard, Ricky Medlock from Leonard Skinnard. John Anderson, just a swinging Seminole win. We've been with a lot of friends this week, out working all over the United States, seems like. Really, only 2 places, Connecticut and Florida. But as we come back, we just have had a spectacular morning here at the Eagle. I've done all this. I haven't even got dressed yet. I haven't even taken a shower. But we'll see what else happens here this morning. And we'll end this thing when we run out of animals and birds and critters running around the house. We go from window to window to window. This is life living at its fullest, if you love the outdoors, and I do. While we are looking out the windows this morning, we did take a look a little earlier, right after the sun came up. And it's a little better now, but where we could see the trees and the change that we've had. It's about as pretty as our trees have got. And they're not gorgeous. The colors aren't really popping. That looks pretty nice as the sun gets up a little bit later. This morning, it'll get a little better. You see a lot of those trees there are dead in that little area as you go higher up that mountain. But you still see quite a bit of color. And we are getting a little bit of the fall colors here, not nearly as spectacular as it is sometimes. But as you look over there and that sun shines on that mountain, you can see where God's created a lot of really pretty stuff over there. Chris and I enjoy it anyway. You get to look it into the sun. It's more difficult to photograph it. It looks better with the naked eye than it does through a iPhone lens. But yeah, we're getting some color over there. You get the sun shining on them just right. It does look pretty spectacular. Yes, sir. I like it anyway. Not nearly as bright and beautiful as some years, but we have had in the month of November, and we're getting toward the end of it. We're in the last week of November, Thanksgiving week, and we have had only 3 days below average. All the other days have been above average temperature, so it's been a warm December, and or November, a warm November. It's going to be a cold December. That's what they're talking about. But the mountains look good over there. Yes, sir. Thank you, Lord. We appreciate that this morning. That's not wildlife, but still all a part of great conservation. I'm hung up on conservation this morning, but when you see all of what we've seen this morning in one morning, look at that reflection on that lake. Spectacular. Okay, guys and girls, that'll wrap this little video up. Amazingly, all of this happened in just one morning. That's right, one morning. That's it. That's it. That's it. Just like that. It's just like, oh, I can't hardly believe it, but all of those animals, all of those birds, Canada geese, deer, buzzards, wild turkey, elk, crows. I mean, everything was running around this morning. And it all happened really in about an hour and a half. Didn't take long. So it's really something, but you never know what's going to happen looking out the window at the Eagle. Y'all fish lucky, and remember, I sure do love you.